Welcome to English Loop Daily, your daily loop of clear English. Find a quiet place, press play, and just listen. You do not need to catch every word. You do not need to stop and translate. Just follow the voice, follow the idea, and let your English move with it. Today, a question many English learners know very well. Why does English sound so fast, even when it is not? Maybe this has happened to you. You read an English sentence, and it looks simple. You know the words. The grammar is not strange. The meaning is clear on the page. But then you hear the same sentence spoken by a real person. Suddenly everything changes. The words do not arrive one by one. They run together. Some sounds shrink. Others almost disappear. A sentence that looked easy in writing becomes difficult to follow with your ears. And you think, why are they speaking so fast? But sometimes they are not speaking very fast. Sometimes the problem is not only speed. The problem is that English on a page and English in real life do not behave the same way. On the page, every word has space around it. You can stop. You can look again. You can move slowly. But in real speech, English does not wait like that. Words touch each other. Small words become weak. Sounds change when they meet other sounds. A sentence can pass by before your brain has time to separate it. And this can make normal English feel too fast. Your brain is trying to hear every word clearly. But natural English is not always spoken word by word. It comes in groups. It connects. It changes shape as it moves. So maybe the question is not only, why is English so fast? Maybe the better question is, why does my brain hear it as fast? That small difference changes everything. One of the biggest differences is this. English is not usually spoken as single words. It is spoken in groups. When you read, your eyes can see each word alone. The spaces help you. The letters stay still. Nothing disappears before you are ready. But when you listen, the sentence is moving. A speaker does not stop after every word. They do not place each word carefully in front of you, like small objects on a table. They move through the sentence in one smooth line. This is why a sentence can look easy when you read it, but feel difficult when you hear it. Take a simple sentence like this, I want to go home. On the page, it is clear. 5 words. Easy words. Nothing strange. But in natural speech, those 5 words may not sound like 5 separate pieces. Some parts become light. Some parts become stronger. The sentence begins to feel like one moving shape. Your brain may be waiting for 5 clear words, but your ears receive one sound group. That difference can make you feel lost. And it does not mean your listening is bad. It only means you are still learning how spoken English behaves. Many learners study English through reading first. They see words one by one. They learn spelling. They learn meaning. They learn pronunciation. So when they listen, they naturally try to catch every word one by one. But real listening does not always work like that. You do not only hear words, you hear rhythm, you hear stress, you hear which parts are strong and which parts are soft. In English, the most important meaning often carries the strongest sound. Main ideas stand out. Smaller words often become lighter. They are still there, but they are not always as clear as you expect. This is one reason English can sound faster than it really is. The speaker may not be speaking at a very high speed. The sentence may not be difficult, but your brain is working too hard in the wrong place. It is trying to catch every small word with the same attention. But English is giving you a pattern. Strong, soft, strong, soft. Important, light, important, light. More like music than separate blocks. Once you understand this, listening becomes a little less mysterious. You stop asking, "Where did all the words go?" and you start asking, "Which words are carrying the meaning?" That is a much better question. Another reason English sounds fast is that not every word has the same weight. Some words carry the main idea. Other words are there to help the sentence move. On the page, this is hard to notice. Every word has letters. Every word has space around it. Every word looks important. But speech is different. When someone speaks naturally, the sentence does not give the same strength to every part. Think about a simple sentence. I am going to talk to him after work. When you read it, everything is clear. You can see each word. You can take your time. But when you hear it, the sentence may not feel like separate words anymore. Some parts stand out. Other parts become lighter and quicker. The main message may be simple: going, talk, him, after work. Those are the parts your brain needs most. The smaller words are still there, but they may not sound as clear as they look on the page. They help the sentence move, but they do not always carry the center of the meaning. This is where many learners get confused. They know the words. They understand the sentence when they read it. But when they hear it, one small part is unclear, and suddenly the whole sentence feels broken. They think, I missed something. And maybe they did miss a sound, but they did not always miss the meaning. That difference matters. Good listening does not mean catching every tiny sound perfectly. Even native speakers do not listen like machines. They follow the main words, the rhythm, the situation, and the meaning together. But many learners try to listen too carefully. One unclear sound appears, and the mind stops for a second. It wants to go back, find the missing word, and understand everything before moving on. But the speaker does not stop with you. The sentence keeps going. And after a few seconds, you feel behind. This is one reason English can feel faster than it really is. The speed is not only in the speaker. Sometimes the speed is in the small delay inside your head. You hear something. You stop inside. You try to understand it. But the sentence has already moved forward. This does not mean you are bad at English. It means your attention is working very hard, but not always in the best place. If you give every small word the same attention, you may lose the whole sentence. So listening has to become a little wider. You listen for the words that carry the meaning. You notice the rhythm. You use the situation. And when one small part is not clear, you do not panic right away. At first, this can feel strange. It may feel like you are ignoring words. But you are not ignoring the language. You are learning how to follow it while it moves. There is another reason this can feel so strange. Many learners know English first with their eyes. They see the word before they really know the sound of it. They meet English in books, subtitles, lessons, apps, and written exercises. So the word becomes familiar as a shape before it becomes familiar as a sound. You know how it looks. You know what it means. You may even know how to use it in a sentence. But when the same word appears in real speech, it may not arrive in the way you expected. It may be shorter. It may be softer. It may be connected to the word before it or after it. And for one small moment, your brain does not recognize it. This is a strange feeling because the word is not new. You know it, but you do not know it fast enough by sound. That is why listening can feel unfair sometimes. You may read a sentence and understand it immediately. Then you hear the same sentence, and it feels like someone changed the language. But the language did not change. The form changed. On the page, English gives you clear borders. Your eyes can see where one word ends and the next word begins. In speech, those borders are not always clear. A word can lean into the next word. A sound can become smaller because the speaker is moving toward the important part. A familiar phrase can become one smooth piece instead of 3 or 4 separate words. This is why listening needs a different kind of memory. You do not only need to remember how a word is spelled or what it means. You also need to remember how it sounds when it is moving inside a real sentence. At first, a phrase may sound like a blur. Then, after hearing it many times, something changes. You begin to recognize it, not as letters, as sound. You start to know how English feels when it is moving. This is why repeated listening matters. Not because you are weak, not because you are slow, but because your brain needs examples of how English really sounds. Every time you hear a common phrase, your brain gets another example. Every time you hear a word inside a real sentence, not alone, your ear becomes a little more ready for it next time. Slowly, the sound becomes familiar. And when something becomes familiar, it does not feel as fast. It may be the same speed as before, but now your brain can catch it sooner. This is why slow English can help. It gives your brain more time, more space, more chances to notice what is happening. You can hear where the words connect. You can hear which parts are strong. You can hear the small parts that almost disappear in normal speech. That is useful. But slow English is not the final goal. Real conversations will not always wait for you. People will speak with normal rhythm. They will connect words. They will move through sentences while your brain is still trying to understand the last part. So the goal is not only to make English slower. The goal is to make normal English feel less strange. Not easy all at once, just less strange. Think about a song you know well. Maybe the first time you heard it, some words disappeared inside the music. You caught a few lines, but other parts moved past you too quickly. Then you heard it again on another day, and slowly the song started to open. It did not become slower, but it became more familiar. Your brain began to expect the rhythm. It knew where the voice was going. It could follow without working so hard. Listening can work like that too. A phrase that once sounded like one long sound begins to separate a little. A sentence that once passed too quickly begins to feel more familiar. At first, you hear only the main words. Then, little by little, you notice more around them. This is why listening again is not a waste of time. Some learners think, I already heard this, I should find something new. But new is not always better. Sometimes the second listen is where your brain relaxes enough to hear what it missed before. The sound is no longer completely new. The road is not completely dark. You already know the direction, so your ears can notice smaller details. This is not boring repetition. This is how your ear becomes trained. You are not only learning information, you are teaching your brain what English sounds like when it is alive. And that takes examples. Many examples. The same word in different voices. The same phrase in different sentences. The same rhythm in different stories. Slowly, your brain stops treating natural English like a surprise. It begins to expect the movement. It begins to trust the pattern. And when your brain knows the pattern, normal speed does not feel so wild. You may still miss words. That is okay. You may still need to listen again. That is normal. Even strong listeners miss things sometimes. The difference is that they do not stop at every missing piece. They keep following the message. And this is one of the biggest changes in listening. You move from trying to catch everything to learning how to stay with the meaning. Because English does not become easier only when the speaker slows down. It also becomes easier when your ear knows where to stand. So the next time English feels too fast, try not to hear it as one wall of sound. Listen for the words that carry the meaning. Let the smaller parts pass without panic. And remember, normal English does not become easier only because it slows down. It becomes easier when your ear learns how it moves. This was English Loop Daily. Listen again tomorrow and keep your English moving.